Not the first time he has been on stage. With such an able support by all the accompanying artists, we cannot ask for anything more. This time, I would like to request Padma Shri George Hart to say a few words about Gokul. George Hart received his PhD in Sanskrit from Harvard University, and he taught Sanskrit at the University of Wisconsin-Madison before joining the faculty at Berkeley. Professor Hart was responsible for inaugurating the Tamil department at Berkeley. He has studied Latin and Greek as well and several modern European and Indian languages. Hart is best known for his translations of several Tamil epics into English and for asserting that Tamil should be classified as classical language, which is clearly stated in a letter addressed to Professor Malai on April 11, 2000. On September 18, 2004, the Indian Union Cabinet recognized Tamil as a classical language. For the 400 Songs of War and Wisdom, Hart, along with his co-author, Henk, was the recipient of AAS South Asia Council Ramanujan Book Prize in 2002. This book is a translation of Puranaru. His book, The Poems of Tamil Anthologies, was nominated for the American Book Award. Hart is also the author of several Tamil and Sanskrit textbooks. He is married to Kausalya Hart, herself a professor and Tamil textbook author. Kausalya Hart, we also want to thank you very much for your support in Gokul's musical journey. Without your tireless effort in Concord Temple, most of our children wouldn't have achieved their goals today. Thank you very much for that. In 2015, George Hart was awarded Padma Shri by the Government of India for his contributions to the study and translation of Indian literature, particularly the Sangam literature of ancient Tamil. Please welcome Padma Shri George Hart.
Thank you. Just looking at this concert, I'm struck by how young Gokul is and how old the tradition that he's participating in is. This is a very ancient tradition. It's described in both Tamil and Sanskrit. In Tamil, we have the Mridangam, which was called Muravu, 2,000 years ago. And here it is, apparently almost unchanged. Of course, we don't know exactly what it looked like, but I'll bet it was very similar. It had its, part of it was smeared with, or actually polished with mud. That's why it's called Mardangam. But I was also struck by what Gokul's father said, that everyone here is taking time off from a busy life to attend a concert. And that reminded me of a poem by the great poet Bhartrhari, which I'll recite. Dhanyanam girikandareshu vasatam paranjyotir dhyayatam anandashru kanat pibanti shakunah nishankam ankeshayah asmakam tu manorato paracha prasada vapitata krida kanana keli kautuka jusham ayuh param shiyate. And what that means is that they are lucky, very lucky indeed, who sit in mountain caves and they meditate on the highest light while parrots drink the tears of bliss that comes from their eyes. But our lives ebb away, they pass away, kshiyate, as we experience the pleasure groves and palaces and ponds that are created by our wishes. And I hope that Gokul, as he grows older, keeps up this extraordinary art that he's learned, because it's an entrance into another world, a world of tranquility and peace and joy. And ultimately, the vision of the great poet Bhartrhari, I think is something I hope we can all remember and take time every day for this kind of activity, which puts us in touch with something more than just our daily routine. Thank you.
Bay Area is filled with talent. We all know that. Bay Area is like being in Chennai. We know that too. We always have to clone ourselves to go from one event to another. Students and parents are very enthusiastic, very engaged to put them in all kinds of cultural activities. In fact, it was amazing that a couple of days back, I had a phone call for a parent who wanted their child to be in music class. I said, how old is the child? 2.5. I'm like, please give me a break, let the child be a child for a little bit longer, you know. So here we are as parents and teachers and educators, starting them early and early and early, and give them tons and tons of resources at a very young age. And they bloom very well. We have been seeing that in Bay Area over and over again. But with the experience, with past 2 decades I've had, there are only a handful of students who are able to pursue their extracurricular activity at the stage where they come to junior high and high school. A lot of them drop out like flies. They're like, okay, I have this, I have that, I have SATs, I have to do it 3 APs, my parents want me to take 5 APs. At the end, there's no end to the list that they want to do. But the students that stay there diligently start with you at 5 years of age and continue this art, and hopefully will continue our inspiration to teachers like us, to motivate us to keep going with this cultural art that we want to pursue in future. And these are our second generation who we want to take it. And to that matter, my heartfelt thanks to Gokul for staying on track, which is something every teacher's dreams of. And so focused, and never, I'm not saying this because it's his Arangetram today. Sincerely, he has never even complained once. Whatever we ask him to do, not just this past 1 year, from the time I've known him, 5 years of age, you ask him to do it, no complaints. His voice is breaking, no problem. He can do the gamakams, no worries. You're asking me to do, I'll do so. So I think as much as we say that, you need to get good gurus, gurus also wait for people like, students like Gokul, who will make our life also more worthwhile. Extremely proud of his achievement in his own musical language. I want to appreciate Anu CK for her hard work. Totally, his name is Gokul. Ennathavam Seidane, Yashoda. Seriously. That goes to parents too. It's not just taking them from one class to another, It's also a lot of practice that is required after their sessions. And you have to stay there patiently and encourage them. And Asian parents have a tough time with that because we want to say, do it, And we want to make sure that they're doing all the stuff, but also pat them on their back and say, you know what? We are much far away from our culture. You're doing something really great. We are very appreciative of this, and we hope that you continue this even after our times. So for that, I'm a big fan of Thiruvalluvar. I have a couple of girls today, and I will translate for people who do not understand Tamil or also pure Tamil here. ஈன்ற பொழுதின் பெரிதுவக்கும் தன் மகனை சான்றோன் என கேட்ட தாய். When a mother hears his name, and her son is called a wise man, she will rejoice more than she did at the time of his birth. And hats off to you, Anu, for taking him from one place to another every single day, making sure And you always say there's a woman behind a man. You can actually reverse the plate here. Everybody knows how hard CK works, and you won't even know when he comes and gives us the Tendril magazine. He drives long and far. He goes from one end to another, makes sure that everything is taken care of and under control. And to him, what can Gokul give today? Magan Tandai Katrum Udavi, Ivan Tandai Yennotran Kullenim Sol. That is, what a great penance this father did to beget a son like Gokul. And that's all I have to say about Gokul today. And at this time, I would like Gokul to come and felicitate his accompanying artists who have done a wonderful